Action. Hi, I'm Nnaji Chidiebere, and I'm here to talk about my Mechatronics class project, which is basically an automation of an etch-a-sketch project. Basically, the project is about being handed two etch-a-sketch boards or models. Then we have to automate it in the sense that we connect them to stepper motors and send messages from the computer or via the microcontroller or whatever device, and have it draw specific shapes. A rectangle of 50 millimeters by 100 millimeters, a circle of a diameter of 10 millimeters, and a line at an angle of either 60 degrees or 30 degrees angle of a 150 cm line. For the first part. Then for the second part, it's supposed to be a master and a slave etch-a-sketch project part, in the sense that whatever you're drawing on the first part of the first etch-a-sketch board gets displayed on the second part of the etch-a-sketch. So basically that's like the baseline of the project, but I kind of went further and made a Bluetooth dongle, in the sense that I control one of the stepper motors with my phone, and it turns the etch-a-sketch in one direction. For now, it's still in the beta stages. So let's get down to the parts of the project over here, which are, these are the encoder knobs. So basically we use the encoder to read the signal from the master etch-a-sketch and relay the message through the microcontrollers, through the stepper motors on the drivers, into the second etch-a-sketch. So these knobs hold on to the etch-a-sketch and hold on to the encoders. So when you turn the encoder, this knob, it turns the encoders, and at the same time it turns the etch-a-sketch knobs. And these are like 9-volt batteries we use to charge up the stepper motors to give it some extra charge, because the regular 5-volt batteries, 5-volt charge from the Arduino, which is here, Arduino Nano, sometimes it's not enough to give you a reasonable drawing shape. It kind of runs out early. So this is the Arduino, the microcontroller we're using. It's an Arduino Nano. Then these are the gears that we printed from the 3D printer, and with using 3D Fusion. So we designed these knobs with 3D Fusion and printed them out to fit the etch-a-sketch, so it holds onto it, so we can turn this goes to the etch-a-sketch, and these ones go to the tip of the motors. So I'm going to show you how this works in a little bit. This is the Bluetooth dongle. It's an HC06 basic Arduino Bluetooth dongle. And this is basically the stepper motors we're going to be working with. Is a 5-volt stepper motor. This is a low end stepper motor, a low end stepper motor, but it does the job pretty well. So, and these are the stepper motor drivers that we're going to be using for the project too. And this is the basic etch-a-sketch board. And right here we have the dock where we place the etch-a-sketch board on top. So we made this out of wood and probably knocked it into shape and dimension. Plugged in stepper motors here, so it can actually mount the gears on them, and it can relay onto the etch-a-sketch. And this is the breadboard with some connections, some variable connections. So that is this for now. So I'm going to show you how the project works. These are the encoder holders. I didn't put this in the, these are one of the components. This is what you mount. These are the encoders actually. So I mounted the encoders on this platform to make it possible for this to be able to stand over the etch-a-sketch with the encoder knobs, to be able to turn the master slave, which you will see at the later part of the video. So let's go into the working of the project. Right here, we have the Gerbil controller. It's a software that we use to send the G-code to the Arduinos, of which we created a G-code in Fusion 360. Autodesk Fusion 360. So that is where we create the files that we're about to draw and turn it into G-code, save it as a G-code file. Actually, we draw the file, then save it as go to CAM. We're actually printing it as if we're actually milling a device. So as we can see here, these are like the different bits that we printed. This is the encoder knobs. These are like the raw files, and these are the gears and core. And these are like the files for the 60 degrees angle. So we created the files in G-code after drawing the model. making it like a cam, setting it up to like a milling structure, then sending the G-code file out to the Gerbil controller and loading it up on the Gerbil controller and then sending it to the Arduino. So let me just send the file. When I click begin, it's going to start printing. So I'm going to show you guys. So I'm printing the 100 cm by 50 cm rectangle right now. 100 millimeters rather. As you can see, it starts off slowly and it just kicks up at some point. So what is happening now is the Gerbil controller is sending the G code to the microcontroller line by line in a kind of line by line code fashion. So it's decoding, the Arduino is decoding the files. So I have to flash the Arduino with G code for it to be able to receive G code files. So it receives the file line by line and interprets it to the stepper motor drivers, and eventually with our setup here, as you can see, it starts printing. So this is my x-axis and this right here is my y-axis, basically for the print. Okay. So as you can see, I have I kind of just drew all the shapes together just to like kind of save time for the video. So as you can see, this is a 5 cm by 10 cm line, and the circle has a diameter of 10 cm as well, and this is a 15 cm line at an inclined angle of 30 degrees. So that's the first part of the project done. Okay, so this is the second part of the project, where the first etch sketch is a master and this is the slave, where the x-axis, which is the left side, is also any activity on the left axis, and the x-axis, which is this, turns the left knob, as you have just seen, back and forward, like that. And also the same on the right side. Activity turns it on the x-axis up, as you can see. It goes up and back down too. Basically, master slave design, as you can see on both etch sketches. So that's pretty much sums up the second part of the project with all the connectivity and everything. So let's go on to the next part. So I'm just trying to write like my professor asked me to make a G code of engine 415, which is the cost code. So that's what it's kind of drawing right now. So as you can see, it's chubby, like a kind of out of shape looking engine 415, because I have the 5-volt stepper motor, so which they're not as accurate as the newer ones. So this is the best I could do for this. So as you can see, this is like it looks like an engine 415 at least. So that this part of the project was for like extra credit. So that's about it. There you go. And for the Bluetooth part, I couldn't explain further because we have like a time restriction for this video, but I'm probably going to upload another video showing how the Bluetooth works and the connections and all. Thank you. So that kind of wraps up the project. As you can see, the project and everything and the simulation of the Etch-a-Sketch with G-code, using G-code Gerbil controller, and drawing any shapes of our choice. Basically, we can draw any shape, send in a shape on Fusion, send the G-code file to Gerbil controller, and send it to the Arduinos, and it draws it. So I want to say a big thank you to Professor Azadi for giving us this project for Mechatronics 415. I definitely have learned a lot. I learned how to use Fusion 360. I'm like an expert now, and the Gerbil controllers. And I learned a lot about G-code and the cost of this project. So I'm signing out, Professor. Thank you.